former Deputy National Security Advisor under President Trump in his first term and Vice President of National Security at the Heritage Foundation, Victoria Coates, is here with us. I was so excited having talked to Daniela's mother, and I remember how emotional it was for her. I mean, constant campaigning for getting these hostages released. And just to see it happen in reality, it brings hope after a very long time. What were your first thoughts when you saw this particular exchange?
Oh, especially knowing, Adrienne, that you had spoken to Daniela's mother, that does make it very personal. And as the mother of a daughter about the same age, you just can only imagine what she's been going through for these 470 days that Daniela and the 3 other IDF soldiers were incarcerated in Gaza. So this is a good day. The remaining hostages who are still alive, to get them out, that is the imperative right now. I think that's what drove this deal, is the knowledge that that window is closing. So we're hopeful we'll see more come out in the next day or so. Hamas is moving the goalposts a little bit here. So that's a big worry. But it is great to see these women come out alive.
And in terms of, obviously there are a lot of talks about how fragile the ceasefire deal is, but President Trump being back in office, I've asked a number of experts on this program whether him returning to the White House had anything to do with this particular negotiation and with how certain we can be that all of the hostages will be returned home. What are your thoughts?
Well, I'm pretty confident that he did have a decisive effect, because I was in Jerusalem when he made that statement in early December about all hell being to pay if they didn't start to come out, if they weren't out by the inauguration. Now, we only got a couple out by the inauguration, but those were the first hostages we had seen in over a year that were actually released through negotiation rather than liberated by Israel. And so I think that did have a big change on the whole program. And he's taking some other interesting steps, releasing some much larger bombs, the 2,000-pound bombs that the Biden administration has withheld from Israel during the conflict, guaranteed that there will not be slow walks of resupply going forward. So I think all of that is causing this little bit of progress. But as I said before, we have to be cautious because we're dealing with Hamas.
We're dealing with Hamas, and then Palestinians are actually returning home at a time of the ceasefire. But does that complicate Israel's fight to protect itself, especially if they do intend on going back in to destroy Hamas? Or should we see this as a sign that this temporary peace deal could be extended to a longer peace deal?
Well, the possibility is definitely there. And I know that a lot of folks are very hopeful that that will happen, because it can open the door to a broader peace deal in the region, potentially even a deal between Israel and Saudi Arabia. That's the bigger strategic picture here. But of course, Hamas gets a vote. And if they decide they're going to try to disrupt this, they had a big PR kind of panoply around the release of these young women yesterday. Which was just bizarre. And actually, the dignity and strength of the young women, I think, really turned the tables on them. But they're still full of tricks. And so I think making sure we don't let them rearm or don't place too much confidence on their quote unquote good faith. But there's always a possibility that we could get to a more stable peace.
And obviously, there are many fronts to this battle with Israel surrounded. It was essentially a 7-front conflict, in a sense. Israel announcing its forces have begun an operation in the West Bank on Wednesday. And then there appears to be some tension increasing in Lebanon. Israel recently seeming to imply that its troops may remain in Lebanon because Hezbollah is reneging on parts of the peace deal there. So what do your spidey senses tell you about what could be next with these 4 hostages returned? Will other enemies step up the fight?
Oh, almost certainly. And so I think West Bank always is a cause of intense concern, particularly the refugee camp of Jenin. Interestingly, the Israelis named that operation Iron Wall, which is an essay from 1923 by the pioneering Zionist Jabotinsky, about the need for Israel to have impenetrable defenses in order to even get anywhere near a peace in the region. And so I think that's certainly the case with West Bank. And then with Lebanon, Israel says Hezbollah has violated that deal, which is only 60 days old. It's expiring anyway. hundreds of times. And they've been finding caches of brand new Russian weapons in the Hezbollah tunnels. So I don't think Lebanon is going to be stable anytime soon.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.